Hey guys, welcome back to the channel for a quick video. I just wanted to talk about one of the pet peeves I have in our hobby, and that is the overuse of the term gem BU. This is a very common and loosely applied term in the online marketplace, particularly given by sellers that are either it's one of a couple reasons. They're either trying to pump up a coin's merits and its true grade or condition, or there's an element of ignorance here where, a quick casual look at pretty much any of these coins on the screen, if we just take a very cursory look and, on the surface, oh yeah, that's a gem BU. Look at that luster, shiny. Look at that cartwheel. No bag marks. And things are not always what they seem. And the true merits of a coin earning a gem BU grade, which by standard is MS65 or finer, is very difficult on non-modern coins. Really, anything pre-1960, pre-1965. It's some series more than others. There's a lot of 50s, 60s, Jefferson nickels, Lincoln cents, Roosevelt dimes that score MS65 grades with consistency and regularity, and they're not super expensive. But once you cross, it's like exponents where, 2 to the first power is 2, 2 to the second power is 4, to the third power is 8, and as the exponents go up, even though they're only going up one increment at a time, first power, second power, third power, with each increasing exponent, the number gets hugely multiplied so that when you get to the 7th or 8th power, you're into 5 digits. So that to me is the analogy I use when you're crossing from the MS65 to the MS66 threshold, and then ultimately beyond 67 and up. To get from MS65 to MS66 may only be one grade, but it's a giant jump in terms of quality, and even more so at the MS67 level. And what's often misunderstood by a lot of amateur or, journeyman collectors, or even veteran collectors and dealers, and some people that are, I don't want to say stuck in the past or stuck in their own mind, or, they just refuse to either be open-minded or really fully understand the complexity of grading. Not only are there 4 main components, being surface preservation or contact marks, hairlines, that sort of thing, which is one of the big ones, but luster, strike are equally important, and eye appeal, which often goes misunderstood, or the emphasis on eye appeal really takes on huge importance above the MS65 level. There are many coins with almost no contact marks at all, with decent luster, that are sitting at the MS65 level, and you could look under a microscope and find very few contact marks and wonder why. And not only does it have to have a full strike to get above MS65, it also has to have excellent luster. So, luster could be excellent, very good, average, below average, or poor, and it has to be in that top echelon, but it also has to have excellent eye appeal. And any type of neutral or negative eye appeal, you'll never get above. Probably if you have negative eye appeal, you probably won't make it to even MS65. So when you see those coins on eBay listed as gem BU, take it as a grain of salt. There are a few of these here that I would call, if I were to submit them, and I submit a lot of coins to PCGS, I think this particular coin, it's got great luster. You can see it doesn't have a lot of contact marks. There's a couple toning marks on the cheek and in the field in front of the nose. A little bit of toning on the reverse. Struck up nicely. You can see good definition in the breast feathers and so forth. And this one's probably a stock MS65 in my opinion. This 81S. You know, it's in the plastic and it's stapled, so this one's close. This is the type of coin they'll probably call a 64. That little smudge in front of the nose is kind of goes towards the negative eye appeal, but the toning and the rest of the coin has good eye appeal, so this one's close. And this one's similar to the first 1880, except this is a P, but that cut on the breast, that's a big one. That's in a prime focal area. People love the eagles, especially right in smack dab in the middle. You know, that's, everything else can be really, really good, and I think that's going to hold it to a 64 max, just because of that. Sometimes not. Sometimes you're allowed one semi-significant contact mark. This 1899, they may actually call this questionable color nowadays. It's a little bit of a lilac. I know it was in an envelope, a craft envelope. This is probably a 63 if it was a straight graded. It's a little bit muted luster, and you know, it might even be a 62. A couple marks on the cheek. Nothing major, but that's just, you know, grading is strict. Grading is conservative, and to maintain values, it's got to be tough. There's always buyer's, not buyer's remorse, buyer's bias and seller's bias. People tend to overgrade the coins they sell and undergrade the coins they buy for obvious reasons. So like this 1946, which one is this? 46S, has excellent luster. Little mark there that you can see at certain angles. Little toning mark in the field, little smudge over here. Probably an MS-64. This 46D, I'm sorry, 46S. The last one was 46D, I guess. Yep, 46D. This 46S, probably an AU58. Doesn't have the full luster over the highest point there above the belt line there in the hand. Yeah, this is a AU58 in my book. That might be called a Gem BU by some online sellers. I would call it an AU58. Oh, we already looked at this one, maybe? It's a different ADS. Yeah, this is a different ADS. Probably a 65 in my book. Excellent luster. Look at that dazzling cartwheel. Really good eye appeal. Still tough. 64, maybe 65 shot. It's 1886. That mark on the cheek is the only significant mark, a little one on the neck, but excellent luster. Rolling over the coin. Probably not fully struck though. This is the type of coin that you might come back as a 63 and people would scratch their head. But I wouldn't be shocked if it came back 63. It's 44, I think it's a D. Yep. Really nice eye appeal with that pretty rim toning. But probably can't see it. There are some faint wispy hairlines in the right field, not really from cleaning, more like slide marks, but and that reed mark above "In God We Trust" would probably limit this coin to an MS-63 grade. Without those slight hairlines and that reed mark, it's probably a 64. Everything else is really nice on this coin, but I would grade it MS-63, and this is one you would almost surely see as a Gem BU online. So let's have a quick look at a couple graded coins. I'm in a hurry, running late for my day job. Creamy luster, not a mark to be seen except for that little tiny one on the eagle's right leg, left facing. Stellar fields and devices. That's tied for top pop. Actually, there's a couple 66 pluses, so just shy of top pop. Pretty clean. Little cut under the eye. Good luster. Nice toning. Pretty coin. Graded 40 years ago. Another one that, if it was raw, might be considered a gem BU. Super clean, especially for a piece dollar. Hard to believe, right? But probably a little bit muted on the luster, and that's the reason. Look at the fields, like a skating rink. Tiny smudge below E and E pluribus unum. Almost no contact marks at all. Beautiful surfaces. Like I said, like a skating rink. Full luster, full strike. Deserving of this MS66, in my opinion. Here's another one. No mark below the E and E pluribus, or really anywhere else. It's a toning mark in front of the eye. There's a couple little scattered tiny marks up by In God We Trust. And to this day, the only Morgan dollar I've ever had graded by PCGS at that grade level, MS67. Beautiful surfaces. A little flat above the ear. Right. Certainly uncirculated, but a little bit. It's got good breast definition. I don't see a contact mark on this coin. But contact marks alone are not enough. 64, I thought it had a shot at 65. Doesn't matter what I thought. One or two more. It's beautiful, 1888. San Francisco key date. Super clean fields for the most part. A couple small trivial marks. Nothing major. No major marks. A cut across the cheek. It's going to hurt it. Small cut. Post mint. Really hurt it. Seems a little bit stiff, but again, that's what it is. Here's a toned rattler. Hard to see this one. Very muted luster. Almost doesn't look uncirculated. It's hard to tell in this light. It's a 97.0. That's a tough date, especially in an uncirculated grade. The luster is dead. Might be a problem coin today. I'll do one more. Cut on the cheek. Another small one in the field below the L. A couple small ones there in the field above In God We Trust and on the neck. Pretty luster, pretty toning. Really nice reverse. A little cut below pluribus. MS61. So you get the hint, you get the point. Be careful and take gem BU with a grain of salt. There's only one other term that competes with the overused, with the term as overused as gem BU, and that would be rainbow/monster toning. So thanks for joining this video today. Feel free to leave your comments or your opinion on different things. Like, comment, subscribe if you're so inclined. samscoinsandheavymetal.com, samscoinsandheavymetal@gmail.com. Find us on eBay under the same name with an underscore between each word. On USA Coin Book, Jimmy Page is great. Have a good one.